Welcome to Cricket Unleashed, the podcast where we dive deep into every facet of the game we love, cricket. I am Dan Bowser, and in today's episode we are going to explore one of the most crucial and nuanced skills in the game, building an innings. Whether you're a weekend cricketer, a young aspiring talent, or a fan keen to understand the subtleties of the sport, understanding how an innings is built is essential for appreciating the game's finer points. Building an innings is more than just surviving balls and accumulating runs. It's an intricate blend of understanding conditions, leveraging your strengths, countering the opposition's tactics, and playing with a strategic, mental and technical approach. We'll explore the psychology behind the decisions, the importance of adaptability, and how some of the game's greatest players have honed this skill to near perfection. So sit back as we break down the art of constructing an innings step by step, helping you gain insights into the thought processes and strategies that lead to those great match-winning performances. Setting the foundation, understanding conditions and game context. Before you even face your first ball, a great innings begins with understanding the conditions and the context of the match. Every situation is unique, and as we know, cricket is a game influenced by countless variables. So, what are the key factors to consider when setting the foundation for your innings? In cricket, no two pitches are ever quite the same, and they evolve throughout the match. Whether you're playing on a hard, bouncy surface, a dry, spinning track, or a slow, seaming wicket, the conditions will heavily influence your approach. In a test match, a day 5 pitch might offer significant turn for spinners, or cracks may have opened up on the surface, making it unpredictable for fast bowlers. You might find the bounce variable forcing you to adjust your footwork and your shot selection. On such pitches, playing late and waiting for the ball to come to you is essential. In limited overs cricket, flat pitches tend to offer little help for bowlers, and the ball often comes onto the bat nicely. Here you can be more aggressive, particularly in the early overs, where field restrictions allow for more freedom to hit boundaries. Opposition's bowling attack. Understanding the strengths and weaknesses of the opposition's bowlers is crucial. For instance, playing against a world-class swing bowler like James Anderson demands a different mindset and technique compared to facing express pace from someone like Mark Wood or Jasprit Bumrah. You also need to adapt your technique when facing spinners, especially against the likes of Rashid Khan and Sunil Narine, who have an array of mystery deliveries. Part of this analysis involves understanding the bowler's patterns. Are they setting you up for a short ball or looking to trap you LBW with a swinging delivery targeting your pads? Reading these patterns early gives you the upper hand and allows you to stay one step ahead. The match situation. The match situation often dictates your approach. Are you trying to rebuild from a precarious position 50 for 3 in a test match, or are you chasing 200 in a T20? The context will heavily influence how you play. In a test match, you may have the luxury of time to soak up pressure, allowing you to leave more deliveries and play conservatively. In contrast, in one-day games and T20s, the pressure to score quickly while minimising risk becomes paramount. You need to know when to shift gears and accelerate. Key takeaway. The first step in building an innings is observation. Before you even face a ball, assess the pitch, study the opposition, and understand the match situation. The more information you gather, the better you'll be able to tailor your game plan for that specific day. The initial phase, getting your eye in. Once you've understood the conditions, the next step is to survive and settle into your innings. These early moments are critical to laying the groundwork for a longer, more productive stint at the crease. While it's tempting to get off the mark quickly, patience is key here, particularly in the longer formats. Leaving the ball. One of the most underrated skills in cricket is knowing when and how to leave the ball. especially in tests where a bowler is trying to make you play at every delivery. Mastering the art of the leave can be crucial. Early in your innings, bowlers will test your judgment outside the off stump, and if you're not careful, you could nick one to the slips. Leaving well frustrates bowlers and forces them to adjust their lines, often making mistakes that can give you opportunities to score later. Legendary openers like Alistair Cook or Rahul Dravid were exceptional at this, frustrating bowlers for hours by showing impeccable judgment outside the off stump. Playing with soft hands. In the early phase, particularly when the ball is swinging or seaming, playing with soft hands becomes a key survival tactic. This means letting the ball come to you rather than reaching out for it, which reduces the chances of edging it to the slips or gully. It's a subtle but highly effective technique that allows you to absorb the ball's pace and avoid risky edges, especially when the ball is new and hard. Strike rotation. Strike rotation is often overlooked, but is absolutely critical, especially early in the innings. By taking quick singles, you prevent the bowlers from settling into a rhythm. Even in Test cricket, where time is less of a constraint, rotating the strike keeps the pressure on the opposition and helps maintain your own rhythm. In one-day games and T20s, early strike rotation becomes even more crucial, as it allows you to keep the scoreboard ticking when boundaries are hard to come by, especially in the power play overs. The key takeaway: the start of your innings is all about survival and building a solid base. Be patient, play the ball on its merits, leave well and focus on rotating the strike to unsettle the bowlers and ease into your rhythm. Middle phase, acceleration and risk management. Once you've got yourself in, the next step is to look for opportunities to accelerate, but this phase brings with it its own set of challenges. Knowing when to take risks and when to hold back requires a deep understanding of the game and yourself. Shot selection. As you settle into your innings, you'll find certain areas where you feel more confident to score. Maybe the ball isn't turning as much as expected and you can use your feet to the spinners. Or perhaps the fast bowlers are tiring, allowing you to play your horizontal bats more freely. It's about knowing your strengths and looking for scoring opportunities within your comfort zone. In limited overs cricket, this phase is often dictated by fielding restrictions and bowler fatigue. You might exploit gaps in the field, or start employing more aggressive shots like lofted drives or sweeps to manipulate the field. Reading the bowler's plan. A hallmark of great batters is their ability to anticipate what the bowler is trying to do. Bowlers will often try to set you up for a specific delivery, whether it's a short ball after pitching it up consistently or aiming for your pads after a series of wider deliveries. Reading these plans allows you to preempt deliveries and adjust your footwork or positioning accordingly. In one-day games and T20s, death bowling plans are critical, and reading slower balls, yorkers and wide-line deliveries can help you find those gaps and boundaries, much like MS Dhoni and AB de Villiers have done so effectively. Balancing attack and defence. The middle phase of an innings, particularly in tests and ODIs, often demands a shift in gears. After soaking up early pressure, now you need to capitalise on loose deliveries and perhaps even target a part-time bowler. However, maintaining a balance between attack and defence is crucial. Take on the wrong bowler or misjudge a situation and your innings could end abruptly. In tests, it might mean dispatching bad balls and waiting for your moment to press on. In ODIs, it's about increasing the run rate without unnecessary risks. The key takeaway: the middle phase is all about finding rhythm, managing risks, and accelerating your scoring rate without losing your wicket. It's a balancing act between attack and defence, all while continuing to read the bowler's plans. Final phase, closing the innings. As you approach the latter stages of your innings, whether it's reaching a milestone or getting your team over the line, the dynamics shift once again. Consolidating in day cricket. In a test match, batting deep into your innings often means setting up a big total or playing for time. Fatigue comes a factor both mentally and physically. Concentration is key. A lapse in focus after hours of batting could mean losing your wicket and undoing all the hard work. Players like Steve Smith and Cheteshwar Pujara exemplify the concentration and grit required to bat for long periods. Their mental resilience allows them to stay focused even when conditions become physically and mentally taxing. Finishing in limited overs cricket. In one-day games and T20s, finishing an innings requires a different mindset. This is the phase where you look to maximise every ball, often targeting specific bowlers or fielding positions. Power hitters like Joss Buttler and Andre Russell are masters of timing their acceleration in the death overs. Innovative strokes such as scoops, reverse sweeps and ramps have become part of the modern batter's arsenal, enabling them to find boundaries in unconventional areas and put pressure on the opposition. Milestones, personal versus team goals. As you approach personal milestones such as a 50 or 100, there's always the temptation to play more cautiously. However, balancing personal goals with the team's requirements is vital. While milestones are important, the team's needs must always come first. Great players find ways to reach their personal goals without compromising the team's momentum. The key takeaway: the final phase of an innings is a test of both physical and mental stamina. You need to focus on decision making, timing your acceleration, and being mindful of the team's objectives, all while managing your own fatigue and concentration. To wrap up today's episode, let's summarise the key points on how to build a great innings. Start by assessing the conditions and match context. Know what you're up against before facing the first ball. Survive the initial phase by playing the ball on its merits, leaving well and rotating the strike. In the middle phase, start expanding your range of shots while managing risk and reading the bowler's plans. Finish strong, focusing on the team's objectives and knowing when to shift gears. Stay mentally tough and adaptable throughout your innings. Cricket is as much a mental game as it is physical. Building an innings is one of the most beautiful and intricate aspects of cricket. It requires skill, patience and intelligence. Mastering this art can elevate any batter from being good to great. Thank you for tuning in to Cricket Unleashed. Join me next time as we dive into more insights and techniques to help you improve your game and appreciate cricket on a deeper level. Like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. We're pumping out content a lot. Keep watching and keep practicing, and remember to stay passionate about the game we love, cricket.